Should we get started with our first ever live open Pike Night panel?
I think we sure should. Welcome to Open Pike Night Live, where your personal logs are our prime directive. It's great to be here with the wonderful folks and attendees here at FanExpo Portland 2023. We really appreciate you coming out. We're a podcast about Strange New Worlds, but more importantly, we're a podcast about bringing in the voices of those who love Trek and those who just enjoy what Strange New Worlds means and has brought to this larger, amazing time we are in Trek. We started a year ago as a Strange New Worlds sort of after show discussion podcast. And once we were done discussing the 10 not enough episodes of Strange New Worlds, we started interviewing cast and crew, starting with Melissa Navia, and it's just kept on going since then and having a great time. And so what we started doing was asking everybody who's involved with season 2 to give us one word. And we don't want spoilers. We don't like spoilers. We don't like getting people in trouble. So the greatest example we can give is, if we had asked Melissa Navia before season 1 and she said the word Starfall, it wouldn't have meant anything to us before we saw it. But once we got to episode 8, once we got to the Elysian Kingdom, that's what she's talking about. And so that is what we have been collecting, and just that and the excitement of everybody involved. So joining me today are my co-hosts and co-creators. We have Cameron.
I promise I am not in a Will Wheaton cosplay, but I'll take it.
And we have Jesse.
I am in a Will Wheaton cosplay, and you just can't tell because it's really bad.
And like we said before, if you haven't heard our shows, we love having callers in. We love having more voices than ours. We are a very typical podcast when it comes to the people who host podcasts, and we love including everybody's voice. And all of our guests always, somebody comments during every interview, man, I love being able to hear their voices. And they just get the biggest smiles each time. And like we said, if you care to talk to us some more, leave a comment for somebody. We'll be standing outside with recorders after the show. We'll just get your name and have you shout out your favorite actor or creator. So we also take calls, and we do have some calls today. First up, we have a call from Henry in LA.
Hi, this is Henry Alonso Myers. Hello to Open Pike Night and everyone in the audience at FanExpo. I'm incredibly excited at what is going to be coming up this year for you guys to see season 2 of Strange New Worlds. We've been working on it for I can't even tell you how long, and I cannot believe the experience that you are going to have. And I'm not going to describe it any more than that, but I hope you are there to enjoy.
All right. Well, Henry Alonso Myers is the showrunner of Strange New Worlds and is very, very good at his NDA. So since we didn't get any real information from him, we're just going to make some wild, baseless theories out of it. Why don't we start that?
Do it. You got our one word?
We do. We have a series, as we mentioned. We ask every guest for one word tease from season 2. Not going to give anything away, but one word that we can, obsess over until we see season 2.
Some of them gave us 2 or 3.
So we put them up here on Mariner's big board of conspiracies, which we feel is appropriate considering there is a Strange New Worlds Lower Decks crossover episode coming up. And you can see all of our individual teaser words on this piece. Now, we are going to go through those.
All right, well, let me start with my first query, guys. I am super excited for Carol Kane in season 2. She's going to be our new engineer. It's Carol Kane. It's Miracle Max's wife, Valerie Max, but Miracle Max's wife.
Yep.
Scrooged, License to Drive, I think. I don't know, everything from the 80s you love, Carol Kane. Any predictions for her? Any theories?
I do have a theory about her. I think it's going to be more about the crew's reaction to her, and I don't think Spock is going to want her there. I think he has been through something really emotional in All Those Who Want Her, and between letting his emotions go and the loss of Hammer, and they were buds, and I don't think he is going to be at all glad that she's there as a replacement.
You're thinking Pulaski situation.
I'm thinking a Pulaski situation. I'm thinking not outward hostility, but just really trying to, probably somewhere between, I don't want to make another friend and lose another friend. And yeah, I am dealing with feelings that I haven't felt before.
So you think Pelio will just show up and go, "Hey everyone, I'm here to fix what's broken," and then that's gonna set Spock off?
I'm picturing her as a Star Trek engineer version of the character she played in Scrooged, the foul-mouthed fairy coming in to fix the starship. And yeah, when she says she's here to fix what's broken, Spock's just gonna, throw whatever pad he's got in the corner, storm out, go punch some walls, something like that.
Who's going to get kicked in the triples?
Ooh, it's gonna be anywhere from Sam Kirk on down into the lower decks crew.
Chief Kyle.
Chief Kyle, yeah, very well could be.
Yeah, I'm just curious, because Uhura and Bruce Horak, I just think of the actor's name, it's now Himmer. They had a very strong bond mentorship, and I was like, well, who's going to take that over? Because I kind of thought Himmer stole the mentorship from Sam Kirk. He was there, he was going to mentor Uhura to the comm station, but then Himmer swept in. It sounds like that's not the case, but Dan Schnott did promise an interesting scene between two Kirks and Uhura coming up in season 2. I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm excited. I don't think he said Kirk sandwich, but we thought Kirk sandwich when he described it.
The other thing that we've run into, this is not part of the script here, but one of the things that we've run into with all of our interviews, and I don't know if any of you met Anson Mount or Ethan Peck the other day, the most gracious people, right? And everybody that we have talked to that works on this show is very aware of that and takes it as a responsibility to help the show stay that way. And if you're not interested in our show yet, I'm just gonna say we also talked to Anson Mount recently, and you may want to stay tuned.
Oh yeah. It was a very productive conversation with him while we were getting an autograph. So good to see him, good to support him. We definitely hope he feels better soon. Ethan,
$50 well spent.
Yeah, Ethan, we hope he looks better soon. Just homely guy.
All right, time for another clip.
I think so. Hang on just a second.
Hey, Open Pike Night. My Strange New World Season 2 prediction is very on brand. I know, shocking. But first I'll give you a generic one. Hashtag Mortagus. I think we will get some awesome Ortega scenes. But my main prediction is my Crusher connection, which hopefully is not getting too tiring for everyone. But Dr. Beverly Crusher is back in Star Trek in a huge way, and I am so here for it and so glad that this iconic character and Gates McFadden are finally getting their due. So I predict, maybe a little off the wall, but I think Dr. Beverly Crusher will somehow, some way, make some kind of appearance in Strange New World Season 2 so we can have an actual Crusher connection. Maybe it'll be a hologram, a flashback, time travel, an ancestor. I don't know. The writers love this character and Gates is awesome, so I hope they figure it out. But have fun in Portland, and as always, live long and prosper.
All right, that was our good friend and former guest, Michelle. She's called into the show regularly. She does something called the Crusher Connection each time where she tries to tie it to Beverly Crusher. There is one requirement to being able to call into Open Pike Night, and that is you need to call into Open Pike Night. We want to hear every Trekkie's voice, and we have built such a fun community. It's not anything that we expected to be sitting here in a panel when we said a year ago, hey, we should start a Star Trek podcast. So we love hearing from new people and hearing from our old friends. So as the seasons go, as our guests come on, let's hear from everybody we can.
And I love Michelle, but I don't think we need actual Crusher, right? Like we could have maybe a Howard, like a Crusher ancestor who maybe has a fling with Pike or something. I don't know. But I really, Michelle is emblematic of the kind of people that call in. Of course, the easiest way to do that is to go to openpike.com/join us. You can record your message right there and send it to us. We will put it on the show. And she really brings up what makes Trek fans, in my opinion, the best fans. Because we don't go, oh, that's cool and shiny and I love it. I mean, we do that. But we also go, I identify with that character and that character means something to me. And I'm seeing myself in these situations and these people. And Crusher is that for Michelle. And it's just, to see the true effect that this show has had on people over the years is wonderful, but to be able to unite some new voices on a new Star Trek series is something that we're very excited to do. So please, if you aren't considering it, start considering it. Cameron, speaking of the next generation, we don't usually script, this isn't my fault. Speaking of the next generation, Cameron, I heard that you spoke with Jonathan Frakes and you asked him about that Lower Decks crossover episode. What do you got for us?
Yes, I did use my autograph time with him to ask him for his one-word tease for his Lower Decks episode that he directed. Yeah, I mean, in a way he didn't answer, in a way he gave me a lot more than one word. He said it is not pretending to be anything but a comedy. It is very funny. What was the adjective you used?
I think he said it's very aware of what it is and not trying to be anything it isn't.
Yep.
That's nice.
Straight comedy. So, for some reason, I have a feeling that the Lower Decks episode is going to be their mirror universe episode. I feel like that's how they're going to kind of bridge the two mediums. They're going to bring in Mir, Boimler, and Mariner. So I think it starts in the Lower Decks. We know it's partly animated. It starts in the Lower Decks universe, Mir universe, and Boimler, who goes by the name Orion Cocktails, is his pirate name. And he and Mariner find a totem, thank you, Davey, with the inscription Shang Dai. Now, if you Google Shang Dai, you get a few things. You get previous generation. They read the inscription and find themselves
traveling through time.
No time crystals involved, Jesse.
There are always time crystals involved, Cameron.
Now they get there, and of course, this Mirror Universe meets Pike Screw, so there's going to be some conflict, and they're basically going to rip off Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, guys. They say, it's a challenge to the death. Name your challenge, and we know that both Sam Kirk and Spock are board game fans with the Yahtzee reference from Children of the Comet. So, Game Night, title of the episode right there, Game Night. Why? Charades, people! Charades. Also, we've got Go, they're going to play some Monopoly. Of course, the Enterprise crew loses that, they don't know what money is. Right. We've got weapons. Melissa Navia was very cagey when she said weapons. I think there's going to be a holographic game of Clue going on that's going to be so awesome.
I think you nailed it.
I think so. We've got the Klingon coffee beer pong, basically. That's going to be a fun one. I don't really know what happens. I just hope at the end, Sam Kirk goes, now it's time for you to Shang Dai. He sends them back to their time.
And then kills them.
Or something, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's strange new world. They're not going to kill even Mir.
Even Mir. I gotta say, I pretty much like that. I really hope that we get a live action Boimler scream. I feel like we probably will. But like, I want to see that on Anson Mount's bridge. I want to see Anson Mount's face when Jack Quaid is screaming like a little child.
I just want to see a hair off between the two of them.
Oh man, that's dangerous territory that I'm not even going to approach.
All right, that was great. Let's hear from our next caller.
Hello, Open Pike. This is Sayadina. I really wish I could be there right now with you all, enjoying the fabulous FanExpo. I hope it is a lovely day there in Portland. I don't really have any theories, as that is not my forte, but I do have a high expectations for what they'll be doing with Sybok. As you know, I adore Sybok. I think he is a complex, fascinating character who didn't get enough screen time. Now that he's officially official canon, I hope they delve deep. This is a great opportunity to explore the duality between him and Spock and their pursuit of truth. Spock's journey leads him through the loneliness and painful sanctification of the Vulcan path, whereas Sybok chooses to reject the way of logic, arrogantly believing he can redefine what it means to be Vulcan. I would love it if they would emphasize that dichotomy between Spock's integrity and humility versus Sybok's vaingloriousness, for it matters greatly the attitude by which we pursue truth. Thank you, Open Pike. Talk more soon. Live long and prosper.
All right, that was another returning caller of ours, Sayadina. She loves to call in and get philosophical, but also she brings it every time she calls in. The guests always love answering her questions, and I'm glad she brought up Sybok because definitely a complicated character for now and for the past. So, Jesse, what do you think?
I want to know who's playing Sybok. Like, I legitimately hope it's just Ethan Peck in like a crazy wig and beard, right? Like, I would be okay with that personally. I don't know that they will go that way. Our friend Matthew McFadgen, who played the Romulan commander in the season 1 finale, A Quality of Mercy, he's quite aware that people were hoping that James Frain, who played Sarek on Discovery, would get cast as the Romulan commander, a la TOS, having him play both roles. And he said, you know what, they do kitsch with their references on Strange New Worlds, but they don't do kitsch with their casting. And that really stuck out to me, and I went, you know what, that probably means we're not getting Ethan Peck in a bad wig and fake beard, but I think I'm okay with it. Do you guys have anybody that you think would be a good Cybot for this crew?
I believe we brought up Antonio Banderas at one point.
I mean, but that's older Cybok. That's like
Yeah,
Final Frontier Cybok, yeah. I mean,
Anybody in the
it's
audience?
meant to
Yeah.
say-
What do you guys think?
Oh,
whoa.
That would be good.
That would be fantastic. Zachary Quinto, that would be the crossover that Jesse will never shut up about, wanting multiple universes meeting. I mean, Jesse is very passionate about. But yeah, I think Zachary Quinto could bring it really well, and it'd be
I'm not
fun
gonna
to
do better than that.
I was going to say, yeah. We'll get to see him with curly hair finally instead of the Siler Spock straight hairdos. So, I think so. I think. Yeah, they're decently close.
How did Vulcan's age?
Very oddly. Jesse, you're also passionate about one other thing. And beyond your crackpot theories about multiverses all over the place, how do you feel about Klingons in Strange New Worlds?
I for sure thought you were talking about time crystals. If you want a time crystal, we have a few up here to give away. So I do have a theory. I have been wanting the Klingons to come back to Strange New Worlds personally, just because like that's the era where the Klingons matter, right? Like, come on, give me some great Klingon stories here, and
Always matter.
yes, that's our newest
Klingons
sticker.
always
right there.
matter,
Klingons
all right.
always matter. Now, I don't know about you folks. I love the Disco Klingons. Give me the Discovery Klingons. I'm fine with that. If you want to add the hair back to them, that's fine too. But I want Klingons in Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2. And when we asked Bruce Horak, who of course played Chief Engineer Hemmer, to give us a tease, a one-word tease for Season 2,
And we know he's in season.
well,
We know he's coming back someday.
here's the thing. He has said, my career in Star Trek isn't over. That's all he can say. And we said, we know that's all you can say, but can you give us a one-word tease?
I believe
And
his
he
response was, and that's where he left it. So, yeah.
I feel that means he's probably in Season 2.
I think that's what's over. All right.
And knowing that Klingon Coffee is on our big board of conspiracy words, and knowing that Bruce Horak is very adept at playing characters with prosthetics and a ton of makeup, I almost guarantee Bruce Horak in Season 2 of Strange New Worlds is going to be playing a Klingon barista.
I'll take it.
That's the one time I'm going to agree with you, Jesse. Yeah, 100%.
This has literally never happened before. I'm glad it's on video so that people can see. It's one of those things that kind of started as a joke, but the more we thought about it, we're like, I think that might work.
I mean, if they don't cast Bruce Horak as a Klingon, why are we even here? What are they doing?
Agreed. And we also realized there is a blind Klingon character that is available to the canon, and the actor who played that character is no longer able to do so. So if they ever wanted to go see him again on Boreth, where the time crystals are, maybe Bruce could fill in there too. But I still think Klingon barista. personally.
Barista?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 shots of espresso, because they do 2 of everything.
Ractigino, but
Ractigino.
yeah.
Maybe he's serving them coffee during game night.
Oh,
There we go. There we go. You gotta go all night, right? And Surge has either been outlawed or lost in World War III. So
Give me a moment. I'm
Where
gushing.
did Surge come from?
because I'm drinking coffee to game all night. It's that or Four Locos, and that would be a whole different type of Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So I did want to bring up the stickers that we've got out in the audience for you. You might notice the hashtag Mortegas. We do lay a little bit of claim to the fame of making that hashtag popular. Melissa Navia has given it to us. So, yep. And but that is one thing we're very passionate about is we want to see at least one Ortega-centered episode we're hoping for it. She quickly became a show favorite of ours, and in our interactions with her and interview, like, man, why didn't we get to see her get a whole episode? And so it is funny that the first preview of season 2 that they gave us was Ortegas getting left behind on the ship while the rest of the crew does a mission.
What do you think is going to happen on that ship? Because we know something's going to happen on that ship.
Oh yeah. She's going to be in the chair. It's going to be something akin to, a prank war with the lower deckers. It's going to be, or she's going to have to go off on some wild adventure while the boring mission happens below. And then it'll be just get to the end, scrubbing down the decks, getting all the soot stains off, cleaning up the console rocks, whatever you have to do to make sure that Pike lets her back in the chair again at some point in the future.
We also know Jenna Mitchell, who plays Jenna Mitchell, told us that not only is there a scene where she's in the captain's chair, there's a scene where everyone leaves the bridge but her. So yeah, it might be that episode because most of the bridge crews down on the planet is just Ortegas, and she's got to go handle some stuff.
Oh, so we're gonna get to see a scene where Mitchell's settling in, getting real comfortable, and Ortegas comes back and just get out of there.
Just throws that awesome hat at her.
Yeah.
The hat is supreme. I don't know if y'all saw the season 2 sneak peek with Ortegas. Probably going to take place on or around Rigel system. So there's some very tantalizing TOS stuff going on there. The outfits are definitely reminiscent of the last time we were on Rigel. So very excited for that. And I know that this is slightly out of order, John, but we keep talking about how good of friends we are with Melissa Navia. Should we just prove it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go ahead.
This is Melissa Navia. Hello to Open Pike Night and everyone in the audience at FanExpo. We have an unbelievable season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds coming your way, and plenty of more Tegas as requested. Until then, keep rewatching season 1, dreaming about all things Star Trek, and getting ready for you don't even know. Oh, so good. Until then.
Melissa, what don't we know?
You ask people who've signed legal documents to give you some kind of hint, and they just won't do it. It's really unfair. So
That's why you're here.
yeah, that's why we bring you here to try. I'm amazed. I'm kind of surprised the one word teases worked. Like
Honestly, yeah.
At first I was like, oh, are we gonna get these folks in trouble? And then the guy who runs the show was like, yeah, I'll give you one. Like,
I'll give you
okay,
two.
great, awesome. We're just gonna keep doing this then. So
Jesse, you have a theory about Ortegas in season 2. It's not one I like. Do you want to share it?
I think we may lose Ortegas. That would be the last thing that I want ever. I want an Ortegas spinoff. She should be a captain, in my opinion. And I think if we all work hard enough, we can make that happen. So please see me after the show. But okay, we start thinking about it, and it's like we know that some of these characters are not going to make it to the end of the series, right? They're designed not to make it to the end of the series. We know specifically that her position is going to get taken over by Sulu. So, we know that she's not going to be the pilot of the Enterprise forever. And, okay, this is a little bit meta, I guess, because it's not technically part of the Star Trek universe, but her IMDb does list her as 13 episodes. It lists, to be fair, all the other actors as 10 episodes. So it could just be that her agent is very on top of entering her credits as they come in. But it could also mean that she's only there for 3 episodes. And it's something that, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's not what that means. And I still don't think that's what it means, but they did do all of season 2 before they got any fan input on season 1. Season 2 was completely filmed and ready to go before season 1 aired. So there's a chance that they didn't know everybody would love Ortegas. And they're about to make a huge mistake. But I don't think they are. I trust them fully, and they know, specifically mostly from us, that there would be street level riots if Ortegas doesn't make it through season 2. So probably okay to share here just as a hypothetical, and if anything happens to her, feel free to hold me personally responsible at openpipe.com/join us.
do it, give him an earful. Speaking of an earful, we do have a call in from another one of our good friends.
Hi, it's Peter again. I hope everyone is having a great time at the Portland FanExpo. I have 2 quick fan theories about Strange New World Season 2. I think the Season 1 cliffhanger with number 1 will be resolved within the first 2 episodes. Given the 10-episode season that is common in the streaming era, and the episodic nature of the show, I don't think there will be enough time to extend that story arc. My second fan theory is related to La'an. She is a relative of Khan Noonien Singh, but aside from a couple of quick mentions during Season 1, we don't know much about how she is related to him. I think in Season 2 we will get a story, perhaps a B story, that focuses on La'an's family history. Enjoy the rest of the convention and live long and prosper.
All right, that was our first fan, Peter, who's been with us since the very beginning of the show. And yeah, I am glad he talked about how quickly they're going to resolve Una, because I honestly thought back before Lower Decks aired, I was like, oh, they're going to do sort of a These Are the Voyages type thing to rescue Captain Freeman. And they're going to go back and be like, well, how did the Strange New Worlds crew, how did they get Una free of prison? And then just deal with it like that, so Una could be right back on the ship at the beginning of Season 2. They kind of halfway a little bit. they didn't These Are the Voyages it, but they resolved it very quickly. I do hope he's right that it's quickly, but not half an episode
Not
quick.
off screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we know it's not off screen. Henry Alonso Myers told us that they thought it might be, which I did. That's surprising. How do you resolve that off screen? Like just in a comic book?
Well, there is a comic book called The Illyrian Enigma, and they are sort of dealing with, I believe that's more of Una's origins, but
Okay.
yeah.
It made it sound like one episode. The premiere will be saving Una.
And then La'an. La'an has been, Jesse didn't trust her at first, didn't trust her at all, thought she was a spy, thought there was definitely something nefarious.
She too easily adopts prey posture. In that first episode, she's like, here's the plan, right? And then she's like, oh, I need help. I was like, that's too quick of a change. I don't trust that. It sort of melted away, but that's where I started with her character. I mean, she's related to Khan, but being related to Khan, and you guys knew I wasn't going to be able to stick to one Star Trek series, so I don't know if you're all watching Discovery, you don't have to, but in Season 5, they're on a quest of some kind to find some kind of cool treasure. I'm pretty sure it's the Tox Utot from Star Trek TNG, which is like a time weapon of some sort. There was time travel already involved there. So I think that with Will Wheaton's, cover your ears, Cameron, he hasn't seen all of TNG.
Yeah.
So with Will Wheaton's transformation into a traveler, and he's putting together this team with androids and all these other people, I'm feeling like he's kind of making like a multiversal Avengers group for Star Trek. I'm not saying I hope he's doing that. I say I think he's doing that. In which case, they could use the Tox Utot from Season 5 of Discovery to go back in time, introduce La'an to Khan, and then I've got nothing after that. But I think that there is a large multi-property crossover coming, is all I'm going to say.
And you think Wesley is the Nick Fury? The Samuel L. Jackson of this universe?
Okay, I totally hear where you're coming from. But if you saw the scene at the end of Picard Season 2, yeah, that's what they're doing with Wesley. He's the Nick Fury of this universe.
Bold choice.
Does that make Ready Room canon?
Ooh.
Oh man, she's taking your multiverse theory and
Well, that kind of makes him the Watcher too, and Nick Fury, man.
So yeah, I think it feels like they set up a lot of stuff they're going to do in Season 2. I mean, they set up Cybok. I kind of feel like he's going to be the big villain of Strange New Worlds for a while, and I love that. Cybok to me is like the movie he's from, Final Frontier, like both very interesting and lots of good stuff, but kind of failed on execution. So I want to see Cybok done right.
I'm agreeing with you now. This is really weird. I would like to see more Cybok, and I want to see some more Captain Angel, because I feel they set Captain Angel up to be a bit of a nemesis for Pike, because there is a certain sense of empathy that Angel has that you don't normally get in a villain, right? I mean, like
They're a hopeless romantic.
right.
I love that.
And they genuinely helped Spock in that scene, explaining, duality of identity and things. So I think that having a high-level, intelligent nemesis for this crew is a good idea. And if you give them like a nemesis team, Cybok and Angel, I mean, I think that's a great idea. And I'll be honest. Go ahead.
Con stuff too. They're going to have to deal. That was
Right.
my point. They've set up a lot of pieces to move around.
Oh, maybe they're doing a Sinister Six.
Ooh.
Every crew versus every villain. This is what happens when a nerd gets a microphone.
We do have one more call here.
What's up, Open Pike Night? It's Steve with Sincera, and I am here to be a part of your live event at Portland Fan Expo. I don't think I can keep all my Season 2 theories for Star Trek Strange New Worlds down to 60 seconds, so why don't you just look over to wherever I am in the crowd and ask me in person? Surprise!
This is what we call seeding the audience, folks. It's I'd like to welcome Steve, our friend Mark, some listeners who've become friends. Come on up. Yeah. All right.
People are gonna need
Give us a theory or ask us a query.
Well, you guys have kind of covered it already with bringing up Lon, because that was my thought, was that she's off helping folks like the refugee that she went off with at the end of the season. And I think she's going to either find the Botany Bay or something similar. And of course, we can keep it canon by she doesn't wake everybody up, but maybe somebody's awake. And that's why the ship was empty when Kirk finds it.
She put everybody in cryo and Steve. This is why you gotta have cool listeners and patrons, folks. Okay, Steve and Mark are listeners of ours that became patrons, and they have flown from Chicago and LA, respectively, out here to meet us for the first time ever. This is actually the first time the three of us are meeting in person, even.
Yep, this whole podcast has been online until this weekend.
This is so emblematic of what Open Pike Night is. It's about community, it's about bringing voices together, it's about putting your words into the ears of the people that make Star Trek. And if you call and leave us your question, we'll play it for the people who make Star Trek. So next time, Steve, that we talk to somebody in the writer's room, I'm gonna bring that up, because dang.
Well, speaking of that, people don't have to call in right now, do they?
Oh.
Should we open up to some
Yes, we
and
don't.
teas?
Absolutely.
If you have a Season 2 theory or query that you'd like to share or ask, we're gonna go ahead and open it up. I'll come down there if you wanna come stand up at the mic.
Yeah, or you just shout out. It's not a huge room. Anybody, it does not have to make sense. We make jokes all the time.
Mine made perfect sense.
I'm gonna disagree with that, but while you folks think of your theories, let's just really quickly go over all of the one-word teases that we have got for Season 2. We have Orion cocktails. We have Shanghai. Not sure if we spelled that correctly. We also have Totem. We have Strange New Feelings.
That was from Nami Mohammed. That's one of the music cue titles for Season 2.
And she writes all of the music for the show. She's the one in charge. She didn't do the theme, but she does all the soundtrack and score for the show. We've got Weapons, as we mentioned before, from Melissa Navia. We've got Charades. We've got the Klingon coffee. You guys, come on, there's gonna be a barista. That's how coffee gets made, okay?
What's the Klingon word for barista?
Probably just barista with an apostrophe.
Yeah.
2 apostrophes. At least 2 apostrophes, yeah.
Barista with 2 apostrophes. And I
We've got
believe
colorful Twister.
colorful.
guys.
Yep.
Yes, and that one, who did we get colorful from?
That was from Dr. Erin McDonald, the science advisor.
For all of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yes, she was on our show and she advised us about some of the science. We failed to pick out any of the fake science that she said was the fakest.
And some of the fanfics she writes, she advised us on that. So.
Yeah, we found out that Dr. Erin McDonald has 3 separate AO3 accounts. So if you're into fan fiction, go on there and start looking. She says they vary by level of how mortified she would be if people she knew.
And I don't know, have you seen the end of Prodigy, Cam?
No, not yet.
Okay, so
But
it's not a spoiler thing, but she was trying to dance around it, but it was great to see her pop up in the very last episode of season 1 of Prodigy, and it's just great to see somebody who was so celebrated. I didn't have to write an intro for Dr. Erin because all of her coworkers kept singing her praises, and we're like, all right, we'll just edit these together, and they do all the speaking for us. So it's so fun to be able to talk to these folks and to have been able to bring this together and bring our community together. And we really hope that everybody gets a chance to listen to some Open Pike and call into Open Pike and just celebrate season 2 with us. We're thinking, obviously May makes sense, May, June timeframe. So this summer, another 10 episodes. Be nice if it were 13, but another 10 episodes.
Right.
Now, there is the little issue of the holiday episode.
There is. We have a season 3 theory. Because thanks to a caller about holiday episodes, we found out Henry Alonso Myers really enjoys holiday episodes. And when I said, so are you confirming holiday episode season 3? I mean, I don't think it was in his mind yet, but you saw the wheels starting to turn in his head, and he kind of said, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. I mean, we got.
I don't know what holiday.
Yeah, we got one of the first Memorial Day episodes almost was season 1, but that was unintentional. I mean, he admitted that wasn't really the intention of the episode. It just happened to coincide well with the release date. But I mean, we know Picard doesn't know about Halloween, but they can still know about it in Pike's time.
If it's a Halloween episode, I'm gonna be so happy.
Cameron just wants a Halloween musical episode of Star Trek. I know that's truly where he's at.
Oh no.
But we feel that's not entirely outside the realm of possibility. And that's just, it's one of those things that we realized as we started getting more and more interviews, we went, oh, these people are just as big of fans of this show as we are.
They really are.
They love it. They
And
go
if they
to
worked
work.
before they started working on it, they quickly became it.
We've had maybe five people that were like, yeah, I've never seen Star Trek before, and then as soon as I got this job, I started watching it, and now I'm a freak. Like this show, you guys know, it changes people. It really speaks to people, and it gives people something to connect over. I mean, I have the most typical story for Star Trek. My dad one day went, hey, let's watch this movie together, and it was the motion picture. And I was hooked, and I've heard that's not always the case with the motion picture, but I was hooked for the rest of my life. And when I told my dad we were going to host a Star Trek panel, he was over the moon about it. It's like this show really does become part of people's family. And if you want to be part of the family of people who are speaking directly to those making Star Trek, go to openpike.com. Because
Jesse's very good at this.
And I really want you to be on our show, is the point. Because without the people that call in, it's just the three of us going, I love Star Trek.
Yeah.
Which we'll do. We'll happily do
Anytime,
that.
Crystal Joe.
And I know that makes us the first group of 3 white guys to sit on the mics and say how much we love Star Trek. Like, we're still unique. We really are. But
Because of all of you. Because of the people that call in, it makes our show diverse, and it makes our show representative of the whole community.
Yeah.
And it gives us new things to think about. Because we're watching Star Trek through our lens. But if you can help us by providing your lens, that's going to just expand our minds even more. And that's really what Star Trek is all about, right? It's all about ideas and love. And without those two things, there's no open Pike night. So seriously, call in. We need you.
and with during the season, you know, we do a little bit of an outline for each episode. Once we watch the new episode, it's like, okay, we're going to discuss this, but whatever the callers bring in to say, these guys don't get to hear it. I'm the producer of the show. I hear the clips, so I can kind of tell when to place them. But they hear it blind, for lack of a better term. But that's leads our discussion for how the episode went, how we're feeling, and it's just a really fun way to talk about it and to feel like we're not in an echo chamber. And it's like, oh, hey, the folks who are passionate about this, come on and talk to us about it. We love it.
Yeah, and if you have a problem with Strange New Worlds, bring it in.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We've told people before, like, send us the complaint. It just hasn't happened yet because the show's perfect.
Yeah. I might have rewritten half of episode 5 just because I had a pretty big problem with it. So I'm like, all right,
But
here's
it's
what
not
I
color,
want.
so-
Yeah.
But that's the point, is like, we're not a, only praise and only good things show. We're a discussion show.
Yeah.
We want to have a discussion with you, and we really can't do that alone.
I just kind of want to see, like, who's looking forward to more, like, let's get some applause, interaction here. More Chapel. Who wants more Chapel episodes? Chapel fans?
Yep.
Who else we got? More La'an. Who's excited for what's happening?
Yeah.
More Una?
Yes.
Interested in Una stuff?
Way more.
Oh, way more Una.
Way
Okay.
more.
Okay. More Una. Are we gonna do we want to see more nails in every episode, or fantastic nail polish? I mean, those manicures.
What's that? I noticed her makeup and her hair changes every episode.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to go back and watch all of season 1. The first 3 or 4 episodes, her manicure game changes every time. Like, yeah.
Now, be honest. Do you want more Una or do you want more Runa? What, Runa?
Oh, the dog. Yeah, Runa.
the dog.
Yep.
So truthfully,
one of the things I was super excited was righting the wrong of having a first officer female on the Enterprise, how that never made it past the original pilot. And all of season 1, I have been starving for more of her character.
Nice.
Because I feel like there's only one episode where we got a little bit of her, and the rest of it, I'm like, for the first officer, there's not much.
Yeah, hopefully with the whole rescue we get.
Yes, and definitely go listen to our interview with Bill Wolkoff, who wrote the episode Ghosts of Illyria. They're very aware that Una occupies sort of a strange but incredibly important role in the canon and the continuity. She's essentially the answer to why Jeffrey Hunter's Pike didn't work, right? So, I gotta say, if you follow us on any of the social medias that we're on, we're always at Open Pike. Go ahead and do that. You'll see some of the fun memes that we posted. Before the season started, I put Una up and said, "This is the best uniform on the bridge, hands down."
That's a fantastic uniform, yeah.
The black stripe down the side, I can't get over it. And our friend Sophia in the audience has a great Una uniform that she was in the other day. So go check our social medias at Open Pike on any platform, and you'll see that great outfit.
So,
I want to see what happened to Dr. Boyce.
So I was just going to ask him about Inga. Like, I want to know more about him. Like, he and Pike have some history, and I want to know about all that.
Why is Boyce gone?
why is Boyce gone? Yeah, and it'll be fun to see how much they try and integrate it with what we know from TOS, because some of the folks we've interviewed are like, look, it was almost 60 years ago. We can't. It's been 60 years. We can't stick to every single thing. But again, they love Star Trek. The people making this love Star Trek, and it is very heartening every time to talk to somebody who can make literal life or death decisions about characters we love and know that they're not doing it willingly or like happily.
Here's a query. Will they finally decide on Mbenga or Mbenga?
I think that's mostly just an ignorant white person pronunciation problem.
Well, I mean, even in our interviews, it would change.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, because that's who's writing the scripts, and sometimes is going to come across that way. I believe it's Mbenga to be official, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm sort of wondering, are they going to give us any more of Captain Battelle, Captain Pike's kind of fling from the first season?
Yep.
Because she arrested Una, right? So is she going to be part of that resolution? And is she going to, because she seems to be important to Pike, right? But we got like 2 scenes of her, maybe 3 scenes of her. So I'm interested to see if they expand on the Captain Battelle character. And I kind of hope that we get to see H. John Benjamin come back as his character from the Star Trek short trek. Because if we're gonna get Klingons in season 2, why not also Tribbles, right? Like, come on, let's have some fun with it. I think so.
It's Star Trek.
Yeah. Didn't Spock die all those times?
So I gotta say, on behalf of the 3 of us up here, thank you guys so much for making our first panel not an empty room. We had a genuine fear of that. We would have done this anyway, but to see people here that we had seen on the con floor and said, hey, come check out our panel, come get a sticker, like, thank you so much. This means the world to us. And this is the first ever Open Pike Night live. It is not the last.
Yeah, it's about 5 minutes.